Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama
There's no drummer and one has to clap nicely. In a good percussion section. Jaya Rama Madhava Kunja Bihari
Jaya Rama Madhava Kunja Bihari
Jaya Rama Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jamna Ballabha Girivaradhari
Gopi Jamna Ballabha Girivaradhari
Gopi Jamna Ballabha Girivaradhari
Gopi Jamna Ballabha
Jasodanandana Jajajanandana
Jasodanandana Jajajanandana
Jasodanandana Jajajanandana
Jasodanandana Jajajanandana
Jamuna Chira Nanakari
Nahira Vanatari
Jamuna Chira Nanakari
Nahira Vanatari
Jaya Rama Madhava Kunja Bihari
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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Rama
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
The Bagavad Gita. Come here. Still there?
Jai Om Vishnu Pad.
Jai Om Vishnu Pad Paramananda Asta Taradarishi Shima. His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Tridandi Goswami Maharaj Mukare ki Jai. Ananta Kori Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai. Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur ki Jai. Brahmsakaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Gopinath Shama Kundara Kungiri Govardhan ki Jai. Vrindavan Dhama ki Jai. Mayapur Dham ki Jai. Navadip Dham ki Jai. Jagannath Puri Dham ki Jai. Ganga Mai ki Jai. Jamuna Mai ki Jai. Bhakti Devi ki Jai, Tassi Devi ki Jai, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai, Gaura Premananda. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada, I can say that. Water Krishna. Water Krishna. So, tonight we are reading from Chemin.Bassin Gita, chapter number 4, text number 34. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Tadvidi pranipatena
Tadvidi pranipatena
Pariprashnena sevaya
Pariprashnena sevaya
Upadekshanti te jnanam
Upadekshanti te jnanam
Jnaninastatvadarshinaha. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Inquire from him submissively and render service unto him. The self-realized souls can impart knowledge unto you because they have seen the truth. Purport. The path of spiritual realization is undoubtedly difficult. The Lord therefore advises us to approach a bona fide spiritual master in the line of disciplic succession from the Lord Himself. No one can be a bona fide spiritual master without following this principle of disciplic succession. The Lord is the original spiritual master, and a person in the disciplic succession can convey the message of the Lord as it is to his disciples. No one can be spiritually realized by manufacturing his own process, as is the fashion of the foolish pretenders. The Bhagavatam 6.3.19 says, Dharman tu sakshat Bagavad pranitam. The path of religion is directly enunciated by the Lord. Therefore, mental speculation or dry arguments cannot help lead one to the right path. Nor by independent study of books of knowledge can one progress in spiritual life. One has to approach a bona fide spiritual master to receive the knowledge. Such a spiritual master should be accepted in full surrender, and one should serve the spiritual master like a menial servant without false prestige. Satisfaction of the self-realized spiritual master is the secret of advancement in spiritual life. Inquiries and submission constitute the proper combination for spiritual understanding. Unless there is submission and service, inquiries from the learned spiritual master will not be effective. One must be able to pass the test of the spiritual master. And when he sees the genuine desire of the disciple, he automatically blesses the disciple with genuine spiritual understanding. In this verse, both blind following and absurd inquiries are condemned. Not only should one hear submissively from the spiritual master, but one must also get a clear understanding from him in submission and service and inquiries. A bona fide spiritual master is by nature very kind toward the disciple. Therefore, when the student is submissive and is always ready to render service, the reciprocation of knowledge and inquiries becomes perfect. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jata Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raganatanditam Samsajivam Sadaitam Savarutam Varijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityanamine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prachadine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. So, we have a big problem in the world right now, and that's most of the gurus are not genuine. It's a big problem. There's so many bogus gurus floating around, it's hard to find a real one. Just imagine you go to some country and practically all the money is counterfeit. And every time you go to spend the money, they say, this is counterfeit money. See, it's hard to find the real money. Of course, counterfeit money means somewhere there's real money, of which it is an imitation. So all these bogus counterfeit gurus floating around indicate that somewhere there's a bona fide spiritual master. So you have to know what is the standard for judging who is a bona fide spiritual master and who is bogus. The bona fide spiritual master is coming in the cyclic succession from Krishna. That means his guru is a disciple of a guru, who is a disciple of a guru, who is a disciple of a guru, going all the way back to Krishna himself. Krishna is called Adi Guru. He's the original spiritual master. So if your spiritual master is to be bona fide, he must be coming in an authorized line of succession from Krishna himself. If he's not, if he's one of these self-proclaimed gurus, don't bother accepting him or hearing from him or serving him, because he can't guide you properly. The only spiritual master who has the potency to guide you properly is the one coming in the cyclic succession in the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna. This is confirmed also, this principle, in Bagavad Gita earlier. Evam param param prapta brahmam rajarshayo vidu. This knowledge was thus received in the chain of the cyclic succession, and the saintly kings understood it in that way. So the knowledge originates in Krishna. This is confirmed by the Lord himself in the Bagavad Gita. He says, Vedashtatarvaramaham eva vejo, Vedantakrit Vedavid eva chaham. By all the Vedas I am to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of the Vedanta and the knower of the Vedas. So the Vedic wisdom is all coming from Krishna. He is the origin of all Vedic wisdom. And therefore the only spiritual master who is qualified to give you Vedic wisdom is the spiritual master who is coming to sit you succession of Krishna. If he's not coming, don't waste your time. Don't waste your time. I had that experience. I wasted my time with some bogus gurus. One symptom is they charge money to initiate you, initiation fee. I had to pay a fee to get initiated, and I got a secret mantra. I wasn't supposed to tell anybody. Aing, 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 aing. They told me to chant it 20 minutes twice a day, silently. So I was trying that, just like an airplane, taking off on a long runway, Aing, 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 aing. Trying to lift off, When am I going to lift off? Aing, 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 aing. Nothing happened. I stayed on the ground. I never got off the material plane. So it was a waste of my time. I even went back. They had a special check session for all the initiates. It was the next day. I went over there, and they all said, "Oh, isn't it great? Oh, it's wonderful." They were all glorifying how wonderful their mantras were, how great the meditation was, and I was wondering, what's wrong with me? I don't know what's wrong with me. But they took me in for a special meeting, and the instructor tried to guide me how to chant the mantra properly, and it didn't work. But then, when a friend of mine introduced me to Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
I didn't have to pay a fee. It was free. Didn't cost a penny. And this mantra took me off into higher dimensions immediately. It's like a magic carpet ride, taking off in all these higher planes of consciousness. He was really wonderful. So then I found out the guru actually was A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. He was the one who brought to this mantra to the West. And later on, I met his disciples, and they convinced me that I should become a disciple, and I did that. So it was the smartest decision I ever made in my life, to become a disciple of Prabhupada. Because unless you actually take shelter of a bona fide spiritual master, you are like a street dog. I don't know if you have street dogs here, but in India, Vrindavan, we have street dogs here. You do. Yeah. So there's two kinds of dogs, Sanata and Anatta. You see. There's dogs with masters and there's dogs without masters. Street dog means no master. He has no fixed place to sleep. He has no fixed place to eat. He's just on the street. And Vrindavan is really a pathetic condition. You've seen the street dogs in Vrindavan, anyone? Oh, it's horrible. They fight with each other. They have wounds all over their body. They have their hair fell out because they have skin diseases. They're pitiable creatures, the street dogs in Vrindavan. Then you go to Juhu Beach, where all the movie stars and the millionaires take their morning walk for their dogs, you see. Those dogs are not lean and thin like the street dogs. They're stout and strong, jolly dogs, you see. The dogs that have masters, they're very, very nicely situated. So, if you have a guru, you've taken shelter of a bona fide spiritual master, you've taken shelter of him, you've gotten initiated, you're following his instructions sincerely, you're, we say in America, you're sitting pretty, you see. You're well situated. You're very well situated. You're solidly situated on the pathway out of this material world. You're solidly situated on the pathway back to home, back to Godhead. You see, you're solidly situated. For those who don't take shelter of a bona fide spiritual master, they're just lost in the dense forest of illusion, wandering here and there, trying to find happiness in this way and that way, you see. On the higher planets, the lower planets, the middle planets, in the human form, in the animal form, in the demigod form, in the plant form, in the fish form, in the bird form, trying to find some happiness. Those who don't take shelter of a bona fide spiritual master never find any satisfaction and happiness in this world. They never do, you see. They try to be happy, but it doesn't work. Everybody wants to be happy, that's a fact. But unless you take shelter of a bona fide spiritual master and get initiated by him to confirm that shelter as a lifetime commitment, and then be fully obedient to carrying out your initiation vows or following the order you've gotten from your spiritual master, you're nowhere. You're really nowhere. You're a lost soul. You see? Therefore, Krishna says, you have to take shelter of the spiritual master. It's also confirmed elsewhere in the Vedic wisdom, in Daku Upanishad, the same thing. If you want to know the transcendental science of God, then it's compulsory. You must take shelter of a bona fide spiritual master by initiation. The Sanskrit used here is the Vidhi-ling form of Gach. Gachati, you see, is he goes. Gachanti is they go. Gachat is must go. The verbal root with different endings has different meanings. So when you have Gachat, it means absolutely must go. There's no option. So this verse says, Tad Vigarum, say Tad Gurum, Vigachat. You have to go to the spiritual master. There's no option. So the spiritual master is very kind, he's very merciful. He's not some mean old nasty person who's just going to chastise you and make you feel bad or something like that. He's a loving father. Just like when I got initiated along with two other boys, Prabhupada wrote a letter, he said, "My dear sons," you see. So he's a master, but he's also a father, you see. Father means affectionate. And Prabhupada demonstrated that also to me in one letter. I had written him, I sent him actually my Guru Dakshina. I was initiated by letter from London, and so I couldn't hand the Dakshina in to Prabhupada directly, so I mailed him my Dakshina. And he wrote back the most wonderful letter, and he said, he always wondered, because you think, well, there's the secretaries, you know, and they're typing a letter, and Prabhupada just signing it. There's a little doubt, did Prabhupada really write this letter or not? A little doubt in the mind, right? Because the secretaries, Vic tells them, they type it out, is it really everything that Prabhupada said? There's some little doubt in the mind. But in this letter, there was absolutely no doubt, because Prabhupada wrote a P.S. in his own pen. The same pen, he signed his name, he added his own P.S. And not completely out of the hands of the secretary. It was Prabhupada had the letter, now he signs it, he puts a P.S. on it as well. You see, that P.S., I was thinking of titling my autobiography, P.S., and then giving the name that I rejected the idea. No, people wouldn't understand what it means. But it's such an important thing in my life. Prabhupada said, P.S., we're going to Nairobi on Friday night. Now what does that mean? Why did I find that so significant? That Prabhupada write me a P.S., we're going to Nairobi on Friday night. Now if you're working at a company, you see, and your boss gives you some official memo, does he tell you what he's going to do on the weekend? No. P.S., we're going to the beach this weekend. No, he would. It's an official office memo. That's intimate family stuff, you know, you wouldn't tell that. So there's a formal letter from the master to the disciple, and then at the end, the P.S. means, actually, I'm your father, and you know, since you're my son, I'm letting you know what I'm doing this weekend. You know, I'm going to Nairobi on Friday night. You're my son. I'm letting you know because you're my son. You see what I'm saying? So that P.S. meant a lot to me. I'm not just a disciple, I'm also Prabhupada's dear son. That he'll tell me he's going to Nairobi on Friday night. A lot of devotees in ISKCON didn't know that. They didn't know what nobody in our temple knew what Prabhupada was going to do on Friday night except for me. And then of course I told them, everyone else knew. But you see, Prabhupada gave me that little intimate side, the insider's information. P.S. we're going to Nairobi on Friday night. So it really touched my heart. He's not only my guru, but he's also my affectionate father, you see. So the spiritual master is like that. Now you have a father, not just for one lifetime. You see, we have one lifetime. In fact, we have millions of lifetimes, and each one we have a father, a mother, but those are all changing, you see. But when you have a spiritual master, that's your eternal father. Not for one life, or 2 lives, or 10, but a million. That means for all of eternity, that person now is your spiritual father. So it's a very special thing to get initiated. It really is. It's really something extraordinary to become an initiated disciple of a bona fide spiritual master. Because that plugs you in not only to him in a formal, eternal way, but also plugs you into all the predecessor spiritual masters. Now you become the affectionate grandson of Srila Prabhupada, and the great-grandson of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and the great-great-grandson of Gorkashore Das Babaji, and the great-great-great-grandson of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and the great-great-great-great-grandson of Jagannath Das Babaji. In this way you plug in a whole amazing succession. And every one of those acharyas recognizes you now as one of their descendants. You get blessings from all of the acharyas in the whole disciplic succession. Rupa Goswami also recognizes you. Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Gopal Bhatta Goswami, Jiva Goswami, Sanatan Goswami. They all recognize you. Now you are one of the family members of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It's a very special thing to be a family member of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We actually worship the family members. You know that mantra? You know that mantra, we worship the family members of Lord Chaitanya? Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu
Prabhu
Nityananda
Nityananda,
Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So you become the Gaura Bhakta Vrindas. You see, when you get initiated, it's a very special thing. You become worshipable. Not that we want to be worshipped, but you become worshipable by all the Chaitanyaites. Because now you're formally inducted as a Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, you see. One of the Gaura Bhaktas. You've given your life to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu through the medium of the bona fide spiritual master. So it's a very special thing, and you live in a new world, a new reality. Externally, everything appears the same. You're still living in the same house, with the same wife, the same kids, the same car, the same job. Everything externally looks just the same, but within your heart, you're living in a whole new world. You're living in a whole new world within your heart. You see, because you've given your life to the spiritual master. Now you're living in a whole new world, and the material world won't bother you like it used to. You become transcendental to the upheavals of the material nature. So we have some questions now. We'll try to answer them. If you can hand me some, that'd be great. Thank you, Abhay. Do you prefer the winter season or the summer season in Mauritius? They both have their special flavors, actually. Do you like gulab jamuns better or rasagula? Well, they both have their special flavors. They're both relishable. What is the best prasadam you like in Mauritius? These are not philosophical questions. Actually, I like the lychee fruit. So this December is special flavor. I really like the lychee fruit too. Okay, what is the position of those following the self-proclaimed guru or the guru who are not restricted? They're going to hell. The guru is going to hell, and they're going to hell with him. That's all. Who is a bona fide spiritual master, and what are the qualities of such a spiritual master? A bona fide spiritual master is a bona fide disciple of a bona fide spiritual master. That's all. The first bona fide guru is Krishna, and the Brahmaji is fully surrendered to Krishna, and because of that, he's a bona fide spiritual master. So then Narada Muni, he's fully surrendered to Brahmaji, and he becomes a bona fide spiritual master. So you have to see who is fully surrendered to a bona fide spiritual master in descending succession. That person then is qualified, as Prabhupada says, the one who is now the disciple, he becomes the next spiritual master. Want to add something there? Okay. What are the GBC rules to correct a disciple? GBC rules to correct a disciple? I don't know. We have Krishna's rules. Krishna is the original GBC. Actually, Prabhupada said the 12 Mahajans, they are GBC. The original GBC is the 12 Mahajanas. And the disciple is deviating. It's the duty of the spiritual master to correct him. That's all.
The rules for the disciples for GBC, as you say, 12 Mahajans, they must follow the 12 Mahajans without fail.
What is it?
They must follow the 12 Mahajans.
Yeah, to be properly situated, you have to follow the pathway. Mahajano yena ditatta panta. You must follow the pathway of the original GBC, the 12 Mahajanas. That is the Vedic injunction. Is it better to settle down in Mayapur or rather in Vrindavan? These are not philosophical questions. Actually, they're not different. You think there's a difference between Mayapur and Vrindavan, then you don't understand the transcendental nature of the Dham. There's no difference between Mayapur and Vrindavan. They're one and the same. There's different flavors. Actually, it doesn't matter according to your own flavor. In practical terms, there's more Mayapur is very practical because there's so much land there and there's not a big city. If you want to buy a place, it's probably cheaper in Mayapur, and it isn't much cheaper. We have a place in Vrindavan, and my disciple is getting a place in Mayapur where I can stay whenever I want also. So I can go either way. They're both simply wonderful. Actually, I prefer Vrindavan myself because there's no Jamuna in Mayapur. There's no Govardhan in Mayapur. I have a certain but it's my own personal preference. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Krishna, Jaya Vrindavan. I have some feeling about Vrindavan, I really do. But I love Mayapur as well, so they're both good. But I personally have a feeling for Vrindavan. Someone told me that the Lord Krishna is selfish. Yes, he has the right to be selfish. Because everything is him. Why is it that everyone has to love him? Because you're part of him. If you don't love him, you're disconnecting yourself from the very essence of your being. It's like saying, well, why do the parts of the body have to serve the belly? Because if they don't, they starve, that's all. Because you're part of Krishna, you're intimately connected with Krishna. Krishna is the very source of your being. If you're disconnected from your source, you're like a part of the body disconnected from the belly. So, therefore you have to love Krishna, otherwise you're committing suicide.
So if you just feed somebody else, then you will not be satisfied. If Krishna is equal to belly, then we have to feed Krishna and
That's
satisfy him.
That's right.
Then one can be satisfied.
That's right. There are 4 Siddha successions why ISKCON or Vaishnava succession is the best. Well, we are in the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Prabhupada Sampradaya. This particular Sampradaya that went from Brahmaji is the most powerful and potent one at the present time because the Supreme Lord himself appeared within this Sampradaya a mere 5 centuries ago. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not appear in the other 3 Sampradayas. He appeared in this Sampradaya only 500 years ago. So this Sampradaya is the most powerful of all the Sampradayas. You think you want to add something? There are so many self-proclaimed spiritual masters in the Kali Yuga who hold the name Acharya to precede their names. What happens if we follow such a spiritual master?
You answered that.
Blind leading the blind. One who has not actually realized that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and fully surrendered to him may have a big fancy name, Acharya this, Acharya that. We had one such big guru in Austin, actually. He started a big ashram and he had many followers and they even had helicopters showering flowers and the temple was open. It was a big thing. Then it turned out he was molesting the young girls and he had to flee to Mexico, sneak across the border. He was the big Acharya. He was molesting the young girls, sexually molesting the teenage girls. So you need to have a pure devotee as a spiritual master, not somebody who's, attracted and wants to have who is desirous of having wealth, women, and followers. And some of these gurus are like them. I just saw a guru today. He had 13 wives. Completely lusty guy. 13 wives he had. The guru had 13 wives. And many children. Many children. That's not a guru, is it?
Guru must be renounced.
A guru is not. A guru is beyond. Is no longer interested in propagating. At least he must be a vanaprastha. He's not going to be, having 13 wives and having tons of children and be a guru. It's not.
He should be celibate.
Yeah, guru is finished with sex life. He's either a brahmachari, a sannyasi, or a vanaprastha. He's not interested in sex life anymore. Of course, someone like Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he was guru even while he was having children. That's another thing.
And he wasn't taking disciples.
But he was qualified as a guru.
Yes.
Yeah. Can a person advance in spiritual life if he does not have a guru? Yes, he certainly can. He can advance to the point of accepting a guru. That's how far I can advance. Accepting a guru is the third step. You see, the pure devotional service is composed of these steps. First of all, you have faith. That's called shraddha. Then you have sadhu sangha, you associate with devotees. The third step is you accept a spiritual master. That's called bhajana kriya. Third step. The fourth step is then you become, you achieve what's called anartana vritti by strictly following his instructions. You become 75% cleansed of the dirt within your heart finally. Starting to make some real advancement. 75% clean. You become even more clean to the nistha stage where you're solidly fixed. Even more clean when you develop a taste for the holy name, and you become completely clean at the asakti stage, in which time the ecstatic emotions arise within you of your original relationship with Krishna. That's the bhava stage, and when you become fully situated, that's the prema stage. So yes, without a guru you can advance shraddha and sadhu sangha, yes, but you can't go beyond the second step till you have a guru. Guru will then take you. Guru is the third step, and with guru you can go to the fourth, fifth, sixth, and all the way to perfection. You can advance a little bit without a guru, but you cannot become a pure devotee without a guru. It's not possible. What are the bona fide disciplic successions? There's four of them. There's the one from there's the Sri Sampradaya coming from Lakshmi Devi. There's the Kumara Sampradaya coming from the four Kumaras. There's the Rudra Sampradaya coming from Lord Shiva, and there's the Brahma Sampradaya coming from Lord Brahma. Those are the four bona fide Vaishnava Sampradayas. You mentioned that Krishna is the Adi Guru, and I read somewhere that Balaram is the original spiritual master. Yes, after Krishna he is the original spiritual master. Balaram originates in Krishna himself, so therefore Balaram is also considered the original Guru. But actually Krishna is the origin of Balaram, and Krishna is Guru, so ultimately Krishna is the original Guru. How to distinguish between a bona fide and a bogus spiritual master? The bona fide spiritual master will only repeat what Krishna says. He will never concoct his own philosophy or his own teachings. What about a person who always lies? Such persons will suffer in very bad karmic reactions. How do I know a devotee who lies? I know a devotee who lies to his guru. Well, he's in bad shape. It's guru aparad. He will have very bad reactions from lying to his spiritual master. Very, very bad reactions. I pity him. Why so many calamities in this world that we are praying day and night? You are not praying day and night. You are not praying day and night. You're listening to the radio. You're doing so many things. You're not praying day and night. Don't tell me you're praying day and night. That's bogus propaganda. You're doing so many nonsense things outside of Krishna consciousness every day. So we know you're not praying day and night. But even if you were, all of us have to be praying day and night, not just a few of us. You see, we all pray day and night. Yes, the Kali Yuga will go away. It will go just like when you have cancer.
It depends also what kind of prayers.
Yeah, what are you praying for? Give me a Cadillac, a brand new Cadillac, replete with Michelin tires. Give my wife a new silk sari. Give my kids a Harvard education. Give me a house by the sea. Om Jaya Jagadish. Is that how you're praying? Rascal. Praying means, my dear Lord Krishna, now I fully surrender at your lotus feet. Please engage me in your service. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. That is praying. How do you know that a master is a bona fide master? Because he purely represents Prabhupada. Read Prabhupada's books, see who is a living example of Prabhupada's books, who preaches only from Prabhupada's books. Then you know you have a bona fide guru.
Well, if one is sincere, they will be automatically going to the bona fide spiritual.
If you were, Maharaji is pointing out, Tesham satati yuktamam bhajatam sati purvakam danami buddhi yogam tam yenamam upayanti te. To those who are constantly devoted and worship me with love, I give them the understanding by which they can come to me. If you are sincere, Krishna will take you to the bona fide spiritual master. Or he'll bring the spiritual master to you. He will connect you with the bona fide guru if you're sincerely wanting to surrender to him. Can you please comment on those who still believe that only Prabhupada can initiate, as the Ritviks are convincing many people? Yes, there's a group of people who say that only Prabhupada is the guru in ISKCON and nobody else, but the trouble is they don't listen to Prabhupada. Prabhupada told us on October 18th, Prabhupada departed in early November, okay, in 1977. He told us on October 18th, he said, now I will no longer initiate. They're saying, no, Prabhupada, you are initiating, because we say you are. Just see the nonsense. Prabhupada said, I'm not initiating. And then he pointed out one of his disciples should have started, then he pointed now his disciples should start initiating. Even before he left this world on October 18th, he said now his disciples should start initiating. Of course they didn't do it, because but they did after, it took some time. It was their duty. Prabhupada gave them the duty that after my disappearance, you are to initiate disciples as your own disciples. He said they will be my grand disciples. He very clearly states it. But these people, because they don't, I'll tell you, I had a debate with the head on the email, on the internet. I had a debate with the head of the Ritviks. His name was Chemin.Bassin. Desai. He was a youth in the youth forum of Bhaktivedanta Manor in London. How many of you call your parents by their first names? Let me ask you that first of all. Raise your hand if you called your parents by their first names. Let's see, how many of you called your parents by their first name? Why not? Why do you call your parents by their first name? Why do you call them mother and father or something like that, right? Why did you do that? Out of respect, isn't it? So, this Chemin.Bassin Desai, he refused to call his parents mom and dad. He's a Gujarati boy. He called them by their first names, his parents. This is the head of the Ritvik movement. He didn't want to even offer respect to his own parents. He could not tolerate offering respect to anybody as his superior. This is the head of the Ritviks, who publishes that magazine, Back to Prabhupada magazine, Chemin.Bassin Desai. So I had a debate with him on the internet, and I defeated him. Because Prabhupada personally encouraged me in a letter that I, Sankarshan Das, could become a spiritual master. Personally encouraged me. So I asked Chemin.Bassin, I said, so Prabhupada said that I could become a spiritual master, and you say that I cannot. So who should I listen to? Who should I follow, you or Prabhupada? He couldn't say a word. He was defeated. He couldn't say a word. He had to be mum at that point. Should I follow you or Prabhupada? You say I cannot, Prabhupada encouraged me, I can, so I follow you or Prabhupada. So this Ritvik philosophy is just garbage. It's simply garbage. The age-old system is going on since time immemorial. The one who is now the disciple, he becomes in the future a spiritual master. That is the system of disciplic succession. Prabhupada didn't change that. if we are from the Chaitanya family, then why is it that we fail to recognize ourselves as part of that family? Because you are dull and stupid, that's why. You have to hear from a bona fide spiritual master and get the fog out of your brain.
So it's not automatically one becomes Chaitanya family, they have to join the family in a proper way.
Yeah.
Not automatically they become.
Prabhupada said that one of the items of surrender is to become a part of the spiritual family. So what does that mean? You have to have loving relationships with the devotees. It's not just theoretical, you have to actually cultivate loving relationships with all the devotees. Instead of fighting amongst ourselves, which we oftentimes do, we have to have loving relationships with each other. Even if we disagree with each other, still we have to agree to work together as a loving family. That's how we realize our relationship with Lord Chaitanya, by cultivating loving relationships within our ISKCON family. Taking the Krishna consciousness brings one to liberation as well as, what? I can't read it. See if you can read that. Give that to her, right? Give that to Mother. Calling our parents through their first name is offensive, then chanting the names of God during Kirtana Rama can be offensive. You think so? Krishna ordered us to chant Hare Krishna. Do you think it's offensive to chant Hare Krishna because it's Krishna's first name? Come on, what kind of philosophy is that? What is the connection in the ritual of ash immersion in Ganga, original liberation of the soul? Bringing liberation of the soul of the departed. You can't liberate the soul just by some ritual. The only real liberation is to go back to home, back to God. And anything else is not really liberation, and that can only be done when you surrender to Krishna. Figure it out?
Yes. It says that taking shelter of Krishna, or taking to Krishna consciousness, that brings liberation for one, the past generation and the future generation are liberated also.
Yes, that's a fact. That just is an amendment to what I just said about you have to surrender to Krishna to get liberated. The fact is, we don't know exactly how it'll happen, but it does happen, as it happened with Hiranyakashipu. Somehow or other, your descendants for 21 generations, your predecessors.
We have to become devotee like Prahlad.
You have to become a completely liberated soul that goes back to Godhead, and then you'll be able to liberate your family members automatically. Somehow or other, it'll happen. And the dynamics of it, if you wonder how the dynamics of it are, then you become a pure devotee and go back to God, and you'll see the dynamics of how it happens. That's all I can say. It will happen. Just like I think of my dear mother and father, they weren't devotees. They were meat eaters. But I know that when I go back to Godhead, they're going to get some special mercy, and somehow they're going to become liberated.
But they're doing a lot of service.
They did a lot of service. Actually, my mother sometimes told me things that actually helped me to surrender to Krishna. My father gave so much service when I became a devotee to help us in our living situation. Even now, when he's helping us, they set up one trust. I didn't have to work a job, you see. I'm free to preach because my father set up a trust for me. I'm free to preach my whole life. This is what my father did for me, you see. So how much I'm indebted, even now I'm benefiting by a trust he set up for me. Stephen Bridge Trust. My father did this. So because of it, I'm preaching. My whole life is preaching. He helped me. He's helping me even to this very day, so that I can preach full-time all over the world. So how much I'm indebted to that father, and how much Lord Chaitanya will give in special mercy. And actually, the day he was dying, he actually lived in Houston, but and then he got very ill. My brother, who lives in the same town I do, Austin, brought him to a nursing home there in Austin, in the outskirts of Austin. So we got the word from my brother that Dad is about ready to die. So we hopped in the car, we went out there, and we did Hare Krishna Kirtan for him. He was laying there like his eyes were full of anxiety, and, laying in the bed. We did Hare Krishna, and his eyes became very peaceful. And then he left his body. He heard Hare Krishna. Maharajan did Hare Krishna for him, and his eyes became completely peaceful, and he left his body. Good old Dad. Okay. And then my brother came rushing in to do a Christian hymn, but he'd already left. We got the Hare Krishna, and a little competition. They wanted to do a Christian hymn, we wanted to do a Hare Krishna. A little competition. It was all God conscious, We actually got there. We got the timing right. We got the Hare Krishna at the right time as he was leaving the body, and they came after he left and gave it the Christian song. Krishna is the original guru, yet he had so many thousands of wives and so many children. Is this not immoral? What kind of disgusting question is this? Are you kidding? Krishna, let me set you straight, okay? You think that wife belongs to you? Yes, it's your immorality. Krishna owns everything. Krishna is the supreme owner of everything. It's your immorality if you think that wife belongs to you. That's your immorality. Everything is Krishna's property. Everything is his energy. It's coming from his body. Why 16,000 wives? 16 billion wives. Actually, every woman in the whole world belongs to Krishna. If you think otherwise, you're immoral.
Oh, why only women? Why only women? All the men also is Prakriti.
Men also. That's right.
All the men is also Prakriti, belongs to Krishna.
Yeah, everything is Krishna's property. Prabhupada had so many sons, it is because he could not give enough affection to all of them. So many disciples left the movement. No. They're saying that Prabhupada had so many sons, he means spiritual sons within ISKCON. Did they leave because Prabhupada did not give them enough affection? That's not at all true. You can say, well, Prabhupada really shouldn't have accepted so many disciples that he couldn't personally be with because... No, that's not true. There were devotees who were personally with Prabhupada. Prabhupada's personal servant left the movement. He was with their right Prabhupada, he was his personal servant, he left the movement. And he was getting so much personal affection directly from Prabhupada. So, Prabhupada, you have to understand that Prabhupada has two forms of presence. He has Vani and Vapu. Vapu is his physical presence, and Vani is his vibrational presence or his teachings. Prabhupada was giving loving affection to every single one of those thousands of disciples, and I can tell you, every one of us felt that Prabhupada loves us. We all felt Prabhupada's love and affection. Everyone. I never talked to any devotee who didn't feel that Prabhupada loved them. Everyone felt Prabhupada's loving affection. That was his expertise.
We are here talking about Srila Prabhupada, but how foolish we are. Krishna has given us, we are full of knowledge and full of bliss, but here we are trying to gratify our senses. Why are we going to blame Krishna for that? That Krishna didn't give us the knowledge? Is that what we are trying to say? Lord Chaitanya's servant left Didn't Lord Chaitanya give them a personal guidance? This is just foolishness, stupidness.
Okay, yesterday I told that I can't do more than 5 rounds, but today, by mercy, I've done 11 rounds. Why only 11 rounds? Come on. What's the problem? It's real simple. Don't eat until you finish 16 rounds. Just don't eat, that's all. Every day, you get your rounds done before you take prasadam, and I guarantee you get those rounds done every day. It's 11 rounds, you're 5 short. Come on. So yes, I said, please give me your mercy, I continue doing it. My mercy is no prasadam until you're 16 rounds again. That's my mercy. Now, that's not a hard and fast rule. For those who are fixed in chanting the 16 rounds, it's okay. This rule is only for those who can't chant their rounds. If you're able to chant 16 rounds, I have no objection if you do them, whenever you do them, as long as you get them done. This is a special guidance for those who are not able to get 16 rounds done. Don't eat any prasadam until you get all your rounds finished. Even if you have to wait till 9 o'clock at night to take prasadam, it's okay. Get those rounds done. And once you get in the habit, then you'll actually learn how to get them done in the morning. One trick is get up early, go to bed early and get up early. Instead of staying up late and trying to finish your rounds and go to bed early, it's much easier to chant in the morning. Just like my wife, she gets up every day at 2 a.m. and chants her rounds and studies in the morning. You see? 2 a.m. she gets up. So, there you go. You have some good advice, and I'll follow that. And looks like that's at the end of the questions. And yeah, we brought 2 cases, a few extra of these books, and they're almost all sold out, and we only have 3 left. And once these are gone, that's it. There's no more available in the whole country of Mauritius. This book is called Truth Works. I was personally blessed by Srila Prabhupada that I could write books. So it's an authorized book, authorized by Prabhupada. And this book is very helpful because it's questions and answers on the topic of Krishna consciousness. If you have some doubts you want to eradicate, this book will eradicate your doubts. If you want to learn how to preach more effectively to newcomers, to help them overcome their doubts and help them understand the science, this book is questions and answers divided in different topics, different headings. So we have only 3 left. Let's see what we have here.
Sriram, we were supposed to make an announcement.
These are 2 customers. We already have 2 customers, Manoj and Jai Guradas, so we only have 1 book left. And this is the last one in the whole country of Mauritius.
So you can bid. You can bid.
Yeah,
We have an auction off the last one, the highest bid. Well, if somebody comes fast with the money, she's come with the money. This Maharaji has gotten the last one. She's gotten the last one in the country of Mauritius. All right.
You were supposed to bid all 3. That was Sriram. Where is the other one? This is from Malibri. Where is the 3rd one?
Manoj.